whiskey.
That'd be awesome. That'd be cool. There's this.
I feel like we got something going on.
Really?
See who our
This
sponsor
is exciting.
this evening.
You didn't want to use the
Who
picture
is?
of Kevin.
Bed
Bar-
frames. Bed
You
frames.
didn't want to use the picture of Kevin bartending as our picture for the show.
I should have.
You should have.
With my bangs?
I think we did it.
How did that happen?
Good evening, everybody. Can you pass me one of those glasses?
What do you need? What do you need? Yes, of course. Oh, I thought this one was mine.
It is yours. I didn't know you were having it. You asked me
said-
to Diet
All
Dr.
right.
Pepper.
This
I
is, we
said I
haven't
was
had to
gonna
do this in a
drink
minute. Happy New
Eric's-
Year's, everybody.
I'm drinking Eric's whiskey, especially tonight. I mean,
It
we're somewhat
is-
in mourning. We have to cheers to that.
Here, cheers to Joe Marangola for the First Amendment Sports Crystal.
Do you want the little glass?
No, I want you to enjoy that. I love it when you.
Man, I missed
This
this.
is the red
grill.
breast, right?
What's that? Yeah, we're doing Redbreast
We're
tonight.
doing the
The
red
15.
The
breast.
Redbreast
Eric,
15,
there you go.
which is
Thank
by
you.
far the best
Nice-
bottle of
It's a
Redbreast.
very nice thing to do for another person. Shout out to EO.
That just goes in there.
Cheers,
Put that right there.
fellow podcasters.
On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangola. This is, thank God, it's Tuesday.
That's a nice. Piece.
Happy New Year. It's Offseason on the Brink, Season 4, season premiere, which is kind of a huge deal, obviously, in the basement. Potentially, we'll have a lot of time to talk about this, one of the most influential and enjoyable off-seasons that any of us will recall on a going forward basis, I think. And it's been kicked off with a bang on day one on Tuesday. Got the right man for the job, Kevin Ricka.
Yes, I'm very happy to be here. It's a brand new year, guys, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Happy New Year.
Tim Strachan.
Here's to you.
Happy New Year.
We did it. We made it through. It's a victory Tuesday. It's a win over Dallas Tuesday. I understand our season's also mercifully at an end, and there's nothing we can do about that. But there's still a number of reasons to celebrate, as we always we can dig those up.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
no
telling
problem.
you, yeah, I was about ready to mourn, really, but with the first sip of this red breast, and
There you go.
you're kicking it off with so much positivity. I've totally changed in the last.
You're like a
30
kid
seconds.
again. Look at him, Kevin.
am.
He's
I'm
like
all
he's
giddy.
all
It's
happy.
A little
and-
red breast. I wasn't
Hide the
tough.
cookies. Hide the cookies.
I
I don't
know,
know. I
right?
don't trust that guy with a smile like
What
that.
was in those cookies?
You know
Were
what?
they really cookies?
Those are my
Oh, they're really cookies.
recipe.
That I know.
Welcome to the board, Ken Harris, EO, manner of speaking, AGH, Greg Martin, Robert Cohen. Appreciate all
Missed
you guys.
man.
We are, and thanks to your hard work to close out 2022, I'm happy to report we found that subscriber that we lost. Not only did we find him, brought some friends. However, we remain in the growth phase, even though now we have 4.24K, that's an industry term, subscribers. We do have room for more. So please hit the subscribe button, get a part of this basement action. It's free. Hit the notifications, and now we've gotten official business out of the way.
We implore for more.
We implore for more. This is 2023. You know, it's we're not going to stop at 4.24K. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why would we?
Let's wild out in 2023. I mean, speaking.
We're going for 5K in the near term. That's our goal. So we'll let you know when we get there. If you see anything or hear anything you like, give us a thumbs up. Let's get started right away. Especially, I see AGH's name, and I want to make sure I shout out across the pond to our good friends in Wales. And I'll drink to the retirement of Gareth Bale, a great Welsh player. He retired yesterday. Yes. So AGH, your man. He's no more, but he was awesome. Everything seems like it's coming to an end. But I will note one thing's not coming to an end. Didn't come to an end on Sunday and didn't come to an end today as a result of someone getting fired. A certain Mary Jo White continues to be on the job.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pretty
That's
sure her existence is going to ultimately be the cudgel for our enjoyment. It's going to be what makes it happen.
I feel like a cudgel is something that I want to jab up Daniel Snyder's ass. Is that what it is?
Yes.
All right,
You know
I
what?
just want to hit him with it. I just want to hit him with
I
it.
mean, that's.
I know.
We were
I got a
really
little.
violent, really close,
I
really
know.
fast.
It was not really. I don't want to really put it there.
Forced
Just
sodomy is
verbally.
pretty
No.
quick.
Just
That's a pretty quick.
metaphorically.
Whoa.
Metaphorically.
All right.
Was it? Do we have confirmation that he was in the house
Wow.
on Sunday? Because I didn't hear it or see it.
I understood that he and his wife were removing stuff from their place, which doesn't typically happen on a year-end basis. That was, but who knows? I have no idea if what I'm reading is accurate or erroneous. It's on Twitter's, and I got banged
The
up
most
all week.
expensive
so.
place ever bought, or whatever. That.
The
What?
house?
Yeah.
Well, that. Yeah,
No. His digs at the field in the stadium,
yeah,
where
yeah.
his personal stuff and his places. That's about as scientific
you
as it
need
gets.
to start piecemeal. You're on your way
Yeah.
out.
The,
so
they
you might
did
as
say there was
well,
moving vans
you
at his
know.
place in Virginia.
Yeah.
T. That was reported on the Twitter as well. And Robert Cohen saying he was he got to the Twitter that
that's
no,
what I'm
no
saying.
Snyder. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was Twitter. I read a lot of the stuff on the Twitter machine, but whatever it is, it just feels like it's right there, doesn't it? Like, the breakup's over. You haven't had the conversation yet, but you
Yep.
know it's done. In your heart of hearts. I mean, there's no way he's coming back, is there? There's no way. he
Ron
can
Rivera
change.
or Snyder?
Snyder.
Okay. Oh no, I'm just kidding. There's a little deja vu I just had there. There's
It's
no
not-
way. There's no way, Kevin.
It's not me, Daniel. It was you.
So you're there.
And I am.
You believe.
I just can't imagine there's any possible way he could weasel his way
I
back
haven't
in
even
there.
thought about it, but would there be a possible way he'd stay on as a minority owner?
Nope.
I can't imagine the league would allow that to lurk.
If he was someone,
wanna
who-
get rid of that
Yeah,
shit.
this is the only reason he's doing this at all. Well, it would have been he would have gone out looking for minority owners if he was a normal business owner, normal businessman, owned 100% of the team. He had
Normal
a short.
being the operative word here.
What's that?
Normal being the operative.
Exactly. No, but I'm saying in the normal course, he would have gone on a search for a minority owner to pick up the tab on the debt he incurred when he bought out the 40% 2 years ago. So the league gave him like a 5-year deal. They said, we'll let you break our debt rules in order to buy these guys out, but you got to pay it back in like 5 years. He didn't have that money. He didn't have his house of cards. So he had to find that money. So he would have had to go get the money. But the reason why he's selling is because he's a dick and everyone wants him gone. And that ain't changing at all.
Yeah, they're giving dicks like $8 billion these days to get out of town, though. It's not a bad number. Being a dick seems way
Been
cooler.
happening in college football for a long time.
I never thought being a dick would pay that well.
No, it's getting better and better.
Oh,
I mean, after the
jeez.
pandemic, being a dick seems like the right thing to do,
Yeah.
maybe. If you're a dick.
If
Is this why,
you are one.
is this why we're not rich?
There's so many reasons.
I really have figured
T,
this out. I think
that's
this is
got to
the-
be
this
the
is
only. That's the
key.
only thing that I can think
You have
of.
to be a dick to be rich.
Apparently, I hope
Yeah.
that's not the case.
I hope it
But-
is.
think I'll ever
I hope
be-
it is. 'cause
I'll
now
never be rich.
I can go home and explain this one tonight after 5 whiskeys. Got a bad dick. Okay.
So how about Scott Turner gone? Now I feel like we got to talk about this in two branches.
Is that celebrated? do you
Well, hold
think?
on. I'm saying I think it's got to be. There's two ways we have to look at it. One, we have to look at it as the end of our offensive philosophy and philosopher, and on the other side, a front office move in the absolute hurricane of a new owner on the way in. So if from a standpoint of Scott Turner being gone as our offensive coordinator, let's start there. Philosophy gone, fresh start, come from no one from within. New direction for our offense.
Absolutely. We're not hiring from within. The freshest part of all of it, the best part of all of it, is the first thing I thought immediately when Rivera made this announcement was, it doesn't matter if he talked to Mr. and Mrs. Snyder. This is his job. He was given this role. He's allowed to do this. But it also is pretty cool to understand that he obviously didn't talk to either of them.
That's right.
They mean nothing. So right away, I was like, okay, well, holy shit. This is the first kind of decision I've heard made that really had nothing. I mean, what?
That's right.
They didn't have anything to do with that. This being said, I didn't know if he was going to get the book thrown at him like this. I'm not saying I'm celebrating it. I'm also not upset about it. He was just, I think AGH went off on a kick here. He went over 3 years and figured out all of our scoring. We average 18.7 points a game 3 years as the offensive coordinator. That gets your ass fired.
That's right.
There's no other way around it. So
give
that's what it is.
Did almost that well.
I don't know if there's.
In a way more conservative
Right.
offense.
You think another person could have gotten more out of it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it'd be a different philosophy, and we wouldn't have gotten our ass sacked in the first half of the season. The switch quarterbacks, and after that, I think you're right, T. He fought for what he fought for with Heineke in there and that O-line. You know, you got to patchwork, put some shit together.
There were stretches where we were going, this is all Scott Turner. This is all because of Scott Turner. The 4-game winning streak this year, the 4-game winning streak last year. Look, I'm not celebrating it. I'm also not all that upset. I'm fine with a change of direction. I think Ron, in particular, is a guy who's stuck in his ways and needs to maybe break out of some of that comfortableness and try something a little bit different and a little bit new. I think he's due for that professionally, honestly, and I think that for that reason, I'm fine with the decision. I never really blame Scott Turner for the woes.
The cool thing about the whole thing, and I think that we should also, for the people watching and for us, as we talk about it, it's two dimensions, right? We're talking about this in terms of Ron Rivera is in charge of the team and he's going to be around for at least another year. And it's his show,
right.
And he's running it. Or, which I think we are, and I think we should for the purpose of this conversation. But understanding there's a very real possibility that he's doing all these things and it won't really mean a hill of beans because the new guy coming in. But let's do the former. Let's say that Ron Rivera is in charge. He fired an offensive coordinator. He's got a Jack Del Rio type running the defense. I think there's a real opportunity he's so well respected amongst coaches and amongst men who are probably,
I think he's
good men.
respected amongst the players.
Well, without a doubt, but I'm saying for the purpose of our next offensive coordinator, it's a real opportunity for someone who is polished, who's been in the league, and knows that Ron Rivera isn't going to F him over. If he says you're running the offense, you're running the offense.
Yeah, and that's true. And then a guy that has got some seasoning and has won in this league, I think, is very important. Just going back to that real quick with Ron Rivera, getting rid of him. T said that he had the 2 4-game win streaks, 3 4-game win streaks. We loved it. He also had 3 months where we had 5-game losing streaks. I think that was part of it. I think exactly part of it. I think there was never something we could depend on with that offense. And all of a sudden we're doing this misdirection that we haven't done all year, and we beat Philadelphia, and we run it for another week or so, and we get away from it. And I just don't understand. I think he overthought himself immensely. But Ken, getting back to this part. There's guys out there that have to look at this and say, all right, Ron Rivera's a good man. If he tells me what you just said, that's my gig. And it has to be a proven guy. And we did a little short look at it. And, some other names have popped up with the Tennessee coordinator getting fired. And
Todd Downing. You got Frank Reich out there.
Frank Reich's sitting out there. But, Bill O'Brien down in Alabama is sitting in an office somewhere going, I've won a lot of football games. In fact, 5 of my 6 years as a head football coach in this league, I had a winning record and still own a winning record in the NFL, which is kind of bonkers if you think about it. Yep. After what he did at Penn State with another winning record, turning that place around a tad bit in a few years. This is also a guy that he worked with you for a minute, didn't he?
Oh, last time I saw B.O.B., I slapped him on the ass as hard as I could while he's having a serious conversation.
Think about that when you're thinking about the next play calls.
With Edsel. And I think I freaked Edsel out. And when Billy turned around and laughed his ass off, Edsel was like, how the hell do you guys know each other? Yeah, it would be great to have him.
It would be cool.
Town.
And then another
That'd
DC favorite, Pep Hamilton.
Sure.
Pep Hamilton, the GM and head coach of the Defenders, has been in the NFL for years. He was the O coordinator last year for Houston, obviously put into a tough spot there. He's been around. That's another guy that they keep an eye on. These are guys, and we're going to talk about this, that have popped up right now with other jobs and always pop around. But I think these are guys that would be decent fits. Now, you can go do your homework on all of them and see who they are, but I think they're all good men, and I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to bring in a guy like that with that type of experience. I can't imagine we're going to turn this over to a young upstart.
I don't think this is a situation at all for a hot to try college coach coordinator or this when a fresh start. If it's going to be Rivera and Jack Del Rio, then it's going to be a triumvirate. It's going to be a 3 guys in charge, and that guy's coming in, and he's going to have the gravitas of being around the league for a while. He's probably going to be well liked by players. He's probably going to have had his hands on a couple quarterbacks that did well in this league, and will have had wins.
I love the Riker O'Brien idea. I love both of them.
There's going to be some good options, but. And the fact that we're not going to go, there's not going to be a Brian Hartline, some hot-shot college guy who's been tearing it up at Ohio State. He's going to get looks somewhere, and it's going to be like at a Houston or a place like that as a coordinator, but certainly not now, not here. That's not what we're looking for, a whole new philosophy. We got a badass defense. let's not turn the ball over. Let's maintain possession and be able to make some big plays. So.
Jack Del Rio really all of a sudden
Wow.
he has weathered the storm
Just
here as a
don't
coach,
put a mic in
and he's
front of his
come back.
face.
It doesn't matter about that stuff. At the
It
end of the
almost
day,
did, and it's what almost tanked him.
he's here, and he's got a number 3, number 4 defense in the league. That guy's not getting fired, not by Ron Rivera. And
No, there's some people around here that owe him some apologies, and I never got to the point where I wanted anything.
No,
but there was
no.
some stuff. I'm not around here. I'm saying in this town. I think we were all on the same page with him. But man, what a hell of a turnaround from the first couple weeks.
It all
Yep.
started, I think it all
was happening
started with the
again.
firing of the defensive line coach.
Was Fields, Sam Fields. I can't think of the name.
And our
What's the field? Sam. I got
Mills.
Sam Mills the third.
There you go.
There you go. He's fired in August, and our defensive line had a great year. So defense is absolutely where you need it to be, and the formula is there. We have skill position players. We talked about it. We have an awesome young running back in Brian Robinson, and potentially a young quarterback that they can work with. But
second youngest quarterback in the NFL.
It's,
You know that? Trey Lance is the only quarterback.
The fact that it's Trey
older.
Lance, that's the best.
Yeah.
That is the best.
That's
So
it. Those two.
So let's move on to Sam Howell. The offensive coordinator thing will shake itself out either as part of Ron Rivera's staff or as part of a new coach's staff. Also bears mentioning that our offensive staff has basically fed the league with coaches over the last 5 to 7 plus years, and good coaches. There are head coaches right now and also
Scanina.
coordinators. There you go. No.
When Scanina came board as
We're
the
talking about
defensive
Sam
line-
Mills, the defensive line coach.
When Scanina came board, when all that change happened, is when I thought the change.
Dude,
in
your
defense
Scanina
happened.
derailed my whole thing about.
sorry.
That's all right. Well,
had to look up
I
his
just think that Sam Howell is a shiny object that also has a lot of substance for however that coaching thing works out as a result of the ownership, whatever.
I loved.
He did great.
Hey, that sample size was awesome.
Yeah.
Listen, we can't get ahead of ourselves. You can't just throw the whole entire franchise's future on the back of the second youngest quarterback in the NFL who's played one game.
Yeah.
But I know you loved him. He was so
I
ballsy.
loved him.
He was so ballsy.
I don't think it's
He was-
based upon that. I think
he
we
was
can't
so
remember.
ballsy.
We can't forget that he was a projected first-round player prior to his senior year, and I don't think his senior year was anything. He actually played better.
Well, he carried the team.
He carried
Well, he
had
rushed.
nobody,
They changed the offense, and he rushed for
Right.
damn near
He had to
1,000
put a team on
yards.
his
He
back,
had
and he
890 yards or something. Yeah.
So
Which I
think
love
he's
if
a
they did that.
first-round talent. I don't think you write off maybe handing the keys to him.
No.
Not at all.
The
He has a
guy
chance
is
to
not
compete
there.
for it in the summer. He'll a fair chance,
He
a free
didn't
chance.
prove that Saturday. I think what he proved Saturday is he's capable of doing it. He's capable of doing what was done this year, if not better.
Toughness, leadership, zip on the ball. The deep ball was
Yes.
beautiful multiple times. He's got zip on the ball, and he's got an
Yes.
arm, and he can run, and he's tough. And have you ever seen a quarterback run at that angle across an NFL football field?
No.
That's where you
I
get
was
sent
gonna
to.
ask
Go
that.
away, sir. Stop.
If we
Go
talk
straighter.
about- if
Get
we
down.
talk about that one touchdown. I don't know if another quarterback has had that play in the NFL this year.
No, well, it was. Get into your point about them changing the offense for at UNC. The shitty part about it is that he wasn't a first round pick after his junior year when he balled out with all those players. But the good news for him as a professional is he already had the arm strength. He already had a little bit of that vision and ability to play the quarterback position the way we'd like to see it played. But then he sat for a year in an offense where he had some running back vision. And if that play when he cut back, that was a put your foot in the ground and cut running back move. Now, obviously, he's not built like Brian Robinson, but if your quarterback can do that, you can do a whole lot. And I think what he ultimately did was he saved us in the offseason from thinking that we have to trade up in this draft for a quarterback, because we don't. Because of him, and
to trade up for.
well, but no, there's always someone to trade up for. I'm just
I
saying
don't know.
we don't we're not in a position where we even think about it. We don't have to give up the resources. They can go a lot of different ways, but we're not trading draft capital for a rookie. That's
I
cool.
think
No, that
the
is cool.
philosophy should be, after seeing what he's capable of doing, is it's free agency or let Heineke and him battle it out.
How's going to have a chance to
Well,
win his
Heineke's a
job?
free agent, so we're going to have to sign him back in order to have him.
And this
But
is
I
Aaron
think we
Rodgers.
should. I want Heineke to be our backup.
I do too.
I think it's the best deal in town for everybody. He just wants to be on this team. He didn't bitch and moan about not being the starter. He bitched and moaned about possibly not being a part of this franchise, and I love that.
Yep.
So I'd love to have him back in that capacity. That'd be badass.
If you have Heineke and Hal in as your guys that you're going to compete in August for a brand new offense, whatever. You got some cap space available because that's not going to cost you a lot.
I know.
Heineke's not. I mean, whatever he costs you, it's going to be reasonable.
No line to protect them.
You're going to need to.
There's
get
your first round pick,
a
in my opinion, or a tight end. But
tight end.
I want a tight end,
Sir. We can't afford a first round tight end.
I'm saying offensive line in the first round, tight end in the second round. I think the top four tight ends. I think
not I don't want a first round tight end unless it's not going to be homeboy from Georgia because he's going top 5.
Brock Bowers.
He has to go back.
I mean,
He
that's
can't
true.
come
That's
out
2 more
yet.
years. And when he comes out, he's going top 5. He's a freak.
Dude, he is a freak.
He's stupid good. How good he is. It's ridiculous.
He's all of it.
And by the way, he's used to catching passes from geriatrics. So it's old man Stetson, man.
Oh, Heineke and Howell, they're like Stetson on steroids.
First of all, how about this? Howell and his 25-year quarterback season, which is this year's old man Stetson's, when Howell's in his 25-year, he would have effectively played out his rookie contract for us.
Oh my God.
You know how old this dude is? Him and Lamar Jackson. They're born in the same year.
He did it though. He's a legend at a great school.
I get it.
He'll never pull his wallet out.
He's a legend because he's fucking 45 years old.
I understand.
Part of my language.
I understand.
He did good.
He'll never pull his wallet out in Georgia for the rest of his life.
His AARP card might fall out.
And people are gonna be like, there's gonna be the worst barroom conversations for the next 10 years about whether or not he should be starting somewhere when he's not even close to.
How dare you say Stetson Fleming Bennett the fourth? Is it the fourth? It's the fourth time he started college over again. It's unbelievable. He doesn't.
It's kind of great.
And he was great. Fine, I get it. Whatever. But college football to me, starting to. I've always been a pro guy, and now I'm fully clear on it.
With the 4 guys, they
100%.
put up the stat on TV. The 4 guys he is now in rare company with back-to-back championships is Tommy Frazier, Matt Leinart,
Bart Starr.
No. There was one other in him,
Sammy
and the
Ball.
other 3, they barely even sniffed. If at
not.
all,
Of course not.
Well, I will say this. Last thing about old man Stetson. Drew Bledsoe, quarterback 25-year, has started 5 years, was 42 and 33, threw for 18,000 yards and already had 100 touchdown passes in the NFL.
Yeah.
Been to the playoffs 3 times and been to 3 Pro Bowls. The same age as old man Stetson.
Stetson.
He's something else, though.
God, I know. I mean, Jesus. His old ass is
I would take
his
you
own
to
point.
love Stetson's story.
Not really.
Really?
Nah, I just don't like when when he said like I'm surrounded by talent, blah blah. And actually, I'm not so bad at football myself. I was like, you're 90, dude. Shut up. Act like be a good dude, and I don't mind that you're 25,000 years old. Just be a nice guy. That's fine. Just say the right things. Do it. Most of the class
He's
acts
90
do.
and 90 years old, 90 pounds.
I mean, I get it.
You gotta like that. That it's like he's old enough probably to really truly appreciate like how ludicrous it is that he said he's so like he's 20
Like,
blah 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 years.
He's
in
like,
college.
listen, don't give Herschel Walker such a hard time. Freshman year, he was a good dude. I swear he was. I knew him then. Thank you.
Herschel Walker.
I handed it off to him in scout team, and
So the moment that stands out to me about that game was very early when the reporter put a microphone in Kirby Smart's face, and they were like, "So what's your plan tonight? Like, what do you guys need to get done?" And he was like, "Aggressive." Like that, and he like stormed. And I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." Then they leaked his. I can't. My phone's over there, so I can't. I would play it for the microphone. They leaked his locker room preview
I heard it.
thing.
I listened to the whole thing.
I mean, whatever. It's
did not
it's
hear
old school, but it's
great.
exactly what would precede a man going on national television and barking into a microphone, aggressive, and then walking away. I mean, he like laid into him, and the way that they played kind of echoed the bonkers berserk Kirby Smart in the locker room before the game.
It was like the varsity versus the freshmen out there.
It really was.
I was pulling for TCU, man. I
course.
loved what Duggan did. It was a disappointment for sure.
It was a mauling by a team that would maul them
Disappointment.
10 out of 10 times, too. It's not like it was going to be any different. I'm not sure what happened last week or in both games, but it's about time college football games started being a little closer. And I know that last week's
Oh, the
games were
playoffs
great.
were ridiculous.
But in the last 3 years, it's been brutal. The last 3 years, the 6 best
no
college
good.
football games in the postseason have been dogs, besides maybe one a year. You go back to last year's NFL, the last 7 games of the season were all decided by 3 points or less. 6 out of 7, 3 points or less. One was 6. It was nuts. I got all excited for the college football game. I cooked all this food. We got to sit there, and I was like,
It was terrible.
oh, God.
It was bad.
Oh, man.
And it's like it's a double-edged terribleness, not even double-edged sword. It's terrible both ways. You got guys like Bowers, really good guys who could earn a living and then some in the NFL right this very second.
He's earning a living in college.
Understood, but he could be the pro. He could get hurt getting a 1-year car dealer, free car at Georgia
From old Stedman's car
from old
dealership?
Stetson's car
He's
dealership.
running for the last 25 years?
versus a 5-year deal in the NFL. But at the same time, it's the old guys in the NFL that are like, no, they have to be 3 years out of high school. I mean, the old guys in the NFL are in charge at this point in time, and they're keeping the 20-year-olds out because, of course, they will. It's a union, and that's how it works. But there's no fixing it, Kevin. I mean, if you got, and I think some of these guys will start opting out for money considerations, and that is, we're not far off from that at all. In my
It's a
opinion.
mess right now. I
It
mean,
is.
first of all, we got to clean up this portal NIL stuff, and the NIL's here, but the portal needs to be something needs to happen.
Here's
Free agency.
Sam
What they've
Hartman's
done.
going to be at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's total free. I mean, it's straight up free agency in every respect. It's a portal. Not a transfer.
There's a dollar amount being suggested
Exactly.
and met.
It's
It
free
is absolute
agency.
Keep
It
an eye
is.
on that. Sam Hartman.
Negotiations.
He is good. By the way,
really
Wake
good.
Forest has quietly put some really good players on the
They were
field
good.
and in the league.
They were good this past year.
were.
They were. So listen, this is
Maryland's backup Edwards is a former Wake
Billy.
Forest quarterback as well.
Billy Edwards?
Yeah.
26-minute intro. We covered some other stuff too, but I think the season premiere of Offseason on the Brink is going to live up. We have a head coach / front office change potentially, at least uncertainty. Quarterback, at least uncertainty, if not goodness / badness. We have the whole ownership of the team / everybody working in the building hanging in the balance. That's not even that. Those are just the big ticket items. There's plenty of other stuff going on, which I want to kind of top off. But that's why this off season then why this show was invented. Like, this is the brinkiest brink. And how many times have we said that? But that's what this is. This is everything. This is a head coach, front office, owner,
You've thrown
and
so
quarterback.
many brinks at us over the last 7
And
years.
they topped it. They finally,
I know.
like, what are they going to do? Can they ever top this? Like, what could they do to top this?
Nope.
New stadium? I mean, this is all of it. Stadium's involved in this too.
Stadium.
We're on the brink of Snyder SS, you know what, heading down the Potomac River is what we're on the brink of, and that's
Another new name.
that's going to be a celebration right down here that night when it's official.
It's going
That's
down.
going to be a celebration. I know, and it's officially official.
God, would it be great to get some of the people on the board live onto the show? I don't know if I'll figure out how to do that, but I'd love to. You did some research. I did some research. I also had some conversations with some folks. This is one
did no
thing that
research.
stuck out to me that I thought you would appreciate. The very first season in our lifetimes when there was an odd amount of regular season games, which I believe is true. I think, right in the 70s, the late 70s, which when we were born, they still were 14 games?
It was 14. It went from 14 to 16.
Yeah, 14. So always an even number.
Yes.
Until this year. Our struggle to be 500 over the last really 10 years.
Hold on.
is
Our embracing
unbelievable.
of average
Our
to the
embra-
fullest.
Yes, we all and
Yes.
that whether you have a winning record or a losing record with an even game season, you always had a chance. You always had a chance, but in an odd game season, it was winning or losing.
Not so fast,
Except
my
the way
friend.
we did it. So it was just weird. Like the first chance we got in the 17-week season, we still got 500 somehow, some way. Like we freaking pulled it off. I thought that was kind of interesting. A shout out to Greg because him and I were talking about it earlier today.
I like to look at it as we were not under 500.
We didn't have a losing season.
We didn't have a losing season. I mean, that's a big deal. And then, you know what? It's a big deal for Ron Rivera. It's a big deal for a head coach to look a new owner in the eye and be like, we didn't have a losing season, and
We're historically average, sir. That's why everyone thinks we stink because we've been so average. It's so annoying. I'm like, wait a minute, stop. Who are you? Who do you root for? Wait a minute. Jacksonville, you've won like 3 games in 3 years. Yeah, we're all in the same group. No, we're not.
And I know there's a
We're
couple,
not.
there's
We're
a
not
couple
at
games we
all.
won that we weren't supposed to, but there was 3 games that we all thought, at least 3 games we all thought they should have won.
So
Right.
then let me jump down here, and I'll put it to you guys. I got a couple quick lightning round type stuff here. So I'm
Let's
gonna
go.
give me just, and we can always talk about it more later. But I just want the answer, and I'll go to the next guy. T, what was your best win of the season?
Best win of the season?
Yes.
I thought it,
Just give me
it
the win.
felt
Just give me
good
the
over
game.
Green Bay.
Green Bay.
The Eagles.
Yeah.
It was the Eagles, but Sunday was a
was
close
the
second,
Eagles.
which is really like kind of gross because what did it actually, what was it for? But I loved it
No, the Eagles.
I
was
know.
the best.
It was for hope.
because you know what, guys, I felt like when I was watching that game and I was so excited about it and I was like clapping and loud and screaming at the TV and my wife and kids were like, aren't they out of it? And I was like, yeah, like this is weird. I thought I've watched a million of these games in like week 10 and week 13 and week 15 over the last 15 years. We all have. You know, when there's 3-win, 4-win, 5-win, 6-win seasons. I get that we were out of it in week 18, but we've been out of it in way earlier weeks. So I was comfortable like watching that game. Like I knew what I was in for. I was rooting for my team, and it was against Dallas, and we had the Sam Howell thing, and McLaurin was out there. So much of it to me was awesome, an awesome game watch experience for a Washington fan. I just thought that it was like
This past Sunday was.
Yes, I really do. It like made me happy.
It was awesome to watch the pup come off the sidelines and beat the dog snot out
Yes.
of Dallas and play the way he played
was
and
like a-
show
it was like
what
the-
he's capable of.
Sorry.
It was just as inspiring. Hey, you know, it's not just Heineke that these guys want to play for. These guys want to play for a badass.
Yeah.
They obviously, Carson Wentz might not have been that guy. I'm not blaming him for why we didn't play good against Cleveland, but I'm blaming him for why we didn't play good against Cleveland. So it's easier to do that now. But
Yes.
this dude was inspiring, man. He played some ball. So that's why it was so fun. Dallas, they were fighting when that game started for the 1 seed, for the bye, which they could have used. They got some beat up dudes.
They could have got it.
They were. They
I mean, they
totally
were looking
shit
for
on
it.
that.
yeah,
They
did.
were awful.
Dak Prescott stepped in 2 piles of shit.
Just 1 foot into the other, and
was
then
just-
out of it.
and then he tried to shake it off, and it just didn't get clean.
I think it was
It was
actually
bad.
the same pile twice.
Oh,
Is what it was.
it was at the zoo too. It was a
Stepped in
big
it,
ass
and
pile.
then he got down to smell it.
so good, so
That was
good. It was
Like
really
some
bad.
definitely got in his
Bad
hands
decision.
because the ball was going everywhere.
Schrute
I
Farms.
It was horrible.
So, but that, like,
I said Green Bay only because, and it's right. It probably is the Eagles, really, to be honest
Sure.
with you. But I think the Green Bay win was coming off the heels of 2 bad losses, if I'm not mistaken, right? And that was when I went, well, hell, not all is lost. I think when we beat the Eagles, we were kind of hitting a groove, were we not?
We were.
yep.
So I don't know, that the Green Bay game just stood out for me as kind of like the one that I kind of went, this is going to be, we're going to have something to play for.
That was important.
Unfortunately, we fell game short with that, but
Now, Kevin, you get to start first. Worst loss.
I was at it. We didn't have the chance to talk about it, but I took my family. We went 6 deep to the Cleveland Browns game. My son wanted to go. My nephew wanted to go. I just, on a whim, I whipped it up and went. And God dang, we had a great day. It was a very good experience. Joe Gibbs and the Hogs out there talking. And hey, say what you want. My nephew and my son and my daughter, they like Major Tutty, so I like Major Tutty.
Okay, fair enough.
I
don't want
have
any
at it.
trouble. I don't want any
get it.
trouble.
I get it. Under a different era, he could be way more cuter and beloved
Sure,
than, under
sure.
this era.
Yep.
Anyways, great experience. Not one damn thing to root for on the field all the entirety of the day. That was so disappointing. It was so disappointing, but it didn't stop the idea that there was some feeling about this terrible black cloud. It's starting to kind of creep out a little bit. Not on the field that day for us, but it was a good crowd. There wasn't any of the NFC East fans around. There was not a lot of terribleness, I guess, if
Yeah.
you will. And dang, man, we got some good young football players. We just didn't show it that day. If we could go back and not start Carson Wentz, that day turns out different.
Agreed.
The second the damn game started, they're chanting Heineke, the whole stadium.
I know.
I mean, before, and a part of me was like, I'll give him a chance. Then it was like, well, this is what it is. This is $28 million in his pocket, and he'll deal with the chance. Because it was right. Next thing you know, I'm chanting Heineke. So, shit.
Worst loss.
the 130-minute game to the Giants.
Tie ball
The
game?
tie ball game is worst
No,
loss.
the second one I think was worse.
Oh,
It's
the
130.
the second half of the 130 game.
Correct.
I got you.
second
that
one.
was kind of where I was.
Just because that's where I think it all just fell apart. There was so much hope that they were going to make the playoffs. They were in the playoffs at that point. They were kind of in control of their destiny, and that really kind of took the wind out of the sails, really.
I just thought we could overcome against Cleveland, and we'd be fine.
I did too.
And I really did.
We did at
so
the time, but
it was
looking back,
gross,
it's-
but that
it
was
just-
just such a laid
it
down
was
kick to the
devastating.
stomach. Man.
The Titans loss was my second worst. I mean, that was early in the season. The interception at the goal line. So we both worst loss for us. There was the emotional part of it, and there's also like the manner in which it affected the season. I think all three of these games were just absolutely obliterated our chances in their each individual way. You could have had any one of them back and won that game, but I thought that the MVP of the season, everyone on the board, give me your MVP of the season before the three of us do. That'll be the next thing we talk about. But the next one for us in terms of season accolades, I just wanted to ask you the feel-good moment of the season for you guys, if that's a thing that you can recall handily. Nah.
I'm like the feel good moment.
Brian Robinson coming back to play.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Exactly. When he got on the field, that was almost like the day when Alex Smith came back and played, and it was kind of like you got your goose a little bit when he was back out there. Now he went through obviously a lot more medically than Brian Robinson, but getting shot. I mean, Alex Smith was injured on a football
Just how
field in
close
the
he
middle of
was
the game.
to dying.
Yeah.
And how horrible that situation could have been compared to the fact that he got to play football again.
I thought Jeremy
weeks
Reeves
later.
making the Pro Bowl, that thing which went viral. Yeah. It was cool. By the way, a free agent, a pending free agent for us. But one of our guys who got to have a fun moment, and he got told the right way, and he had a good time about it. I get the sense that Jeremy Reeves is a guy that we're going to target in free agency. And what gave it away for me was Kendall Fuller was doing his like post game interviewing and stuff, and he was telling stories. And Jeremy Reeves just like came up a couple of times. Like he said, he's not on social media, and he doesn't follow Twitter. So he won't know like when the team gets sold. And so he's like, Reeves is going to have to be his guy to update him. And little things like that. When some of the other guys were talking, where his name came up, he's a beloved part of what they do, and he's certainly. To me, that moves him right into it's not going to cost a fortune to keep this guy. This is a guy we have to keep. Jeremy Reeves, I think, is the bridge from the post-Snyder, the the Snyder era to the post-Snyder era in a sense of like guys that we can latch onto emotionally. I think.
Are you gonna cry?
I think I might cry.
Jesus.
I feel like when he made the Pro Bowl, we all made the Pro Bowl.
It was a great moment.
Yeah.
I don't know if we were going for like teary-eyed, bleary-eyed moment.
Yeah, just a great moment. Just a moment.
All right, well, mine
okay?
was week one, fellas. We were slinging the ball over the damn field. We had Curtis Samuel on the Landover Juke. Our receiving core could not be
Take
tackled.
that, Rhett.
The freaking Jacksonville Jaguars defense couldn't handle us, and all of a
right.
sudden, three of the coolest touchdown passes I've ever seen were thrown
Yep.
that day, and all that shit ended pretty quickly. But that day, I was like, I really believed maybe we had something here, and now that was taken away, and there was 17 more weeks. But I just remember after that game, I was like, oh, Scott Turner, Carson Wentz, thank you, peace, both of you. 17 weeks later.
All right, we got Terry McLaurin, Darren Payne, Duran, obviously Duran, Tress Way.
You were seeing visions of Carson Wentz as the comeback player of the year.
I mean, the way he threw the ball
Because
that day,
I did
unmolested,
that day I
he
did.
was freaking, he was
I remember
fire.
we came back that Tuesday. We're like, this is why he was chosen.
Right.
He can make these throws.
And
I
it
don't
was.
think he
Name.
can-
I
And
don't
he
see the name
can.
I'm looking for.
And that's true. The problem
He
is
couldn't do it again.
the rest of them, that was he wasn't capable of sustaining that type of.
He was showing that he was capable of it.
I
Yeah.
can't believe I'm going to say
Yeah,
this
it
name
was
before
worse.
anyone on the
He
board
proved
says
that he was not
says it.
capable of doing it.
Jonathan
over and
Allen.
over again.
I have Jonathan Allen as my MVP for the season. No one else has Jonathan Allen.
Well, I'm Terry McLaurin. I can't stop it.
Tom Marangolo agrees with with you.
Terry McLaurin caught
Robert
three
Cohen.
more
Can't go wrong
passes
with
from
either one of
three
those.
more starting quarterbacks in another season. Season 4, 3 quarterbacks. He's over 1,100. I just can't get enough of him. And when he decides to come down with the ball that no one thinks he should in the world, and he gets up, that stadium gets up.
Terry
is the
McLaurin is a
pulse.
difference maker, and
there
he
an
is the
argument?
pulse on offense.
Is
There
there
is
an
an
argument
argument.
for Deron Payne?
Yes, absolutely.
For Deron Payne?
I
he
can
had a
say
great
there's an
season.
argument for
I
Deron
think
Payne.
Deron Payne-
11.5
yeah.
sacks.
Deron
And
Payne
Jonathan
had his
Allen.
best season as a Redskin.
I mean, their defense put it on
in a
on
Washington
tape.
uniform, he had his best season this year.
A defense that good, the two badasses up front, they deserve all the credit.
Deron Payne was, I think, 10th in the NFL. 12th in total sacks. 3rd in defensive
He's
tackles.
going to get paid so well.
I hope it's from us.
I do too. By the way,
If,
do you guys,
if Sam Howell's your guy, then he may
wait,
be.
do you guys agree that if we re-sign Heineke and Howell and then put the next quarterback on the back burner in terms of decision-wise, if we make that move, whatever the money is on Heineke, do you believe that is enough money for us to keep
Is this
paying?
the Caleb Williams package?
Yes. Also,
that's the thing. No,
also,
no, not at all.
The
No.
salary
Caleb.
cap's going up to a little bit more after. We're
gonna get a little raise.
Yes, we're going to get a little raise. I think another 12. It's usually about 12 million. So there's
We got
12
Terry.
million.
We got Jonathan. We got some guys under
mean,
contract.
Now I think we got to bring back Cole Holcomb as well. I don't know what that's going to cost us,
It
but
shouldn't cost us a ton.
I know. But second contracts are just they don't look right compared to what they were making before. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden Cole Holcomb gets $50 million for 4 years. Is that too much?
Can I ask you guys this?
I think maybe.
Yes,
Yeah.
it sounds
Is-
like a lot.
I know, but it's going to be something like that somewhere.
Jonathan Allen got paid.
3-year, $40 million deal to play for the freaking Cardinals.
What's
Blah, blah,
Jonathan
blah.
Allen's contract? What is he guaranteed per year?
No
20
idea.
plus? Whatever it is, Payne comes available as a free agent, and the
first
market
D
is.
tackle to get to $20 million just got signed this week, I think. No. That was
Roquan Smith.
That was
Yeah.
Roquan. That was Roquan
The
did that,
franchise
yeah.
tag for Payne is 18 point something million, 18.7, something like that. That's lower. Like he's expected to get a 19 plus annual average value contract, so 19 plus. But I also don't think he's going to hold out his hands and say I want to get paid more than Jonathan Allen, which could ultimately help.
I
us.
think he wants to get paid as much as he can possibly get paid. Deron Payne
His
is
agent's
not cutting anybody any bargains. This is not happening. Deron Payne is a no-nonsense dude. He's already said, I'm getting paid. You know you're getting paid? Yeah, I know it. I can't wait.
What if they gave him the same
played
contract
like
they gave
it.
Allen?
That was
They
a hell of
better,
a
they better give him $1 more.
He had-
Brand new year.
I
It's
understand-
only what it is.
He gave a hell of an audition.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
He
Yeah.
was a monster, but I also know that while he says all the right things and he puts everything amazing on film and his agent's going to do his job, I also know that Payne understands what it means to play next to a guy of Jonathan Allen's caliber. Now, he can go somewhere else and be the Jonathan Allen, and hopefully he gets a Deron Payne to play next to him. But
better.
But he knows.
Don't forget these guys threw punches at each other last year.
As Ron Rivera said, you ever had a brother?
Yeah, true.
You ever had
No,
a
they
brother?
love each other. I'm not worried
true.
about that. I'm more worried about how much money Duran's going to get on the open market.
It's gonna be obscene.
I know it is.
But you
I
know what? That's our free agent quarterback to me. That's our guy.
And when you have a number 3 defense and you can make a couple adjustments, well, we need like 5 linebackers. But other than that, right now, I think we have 3 linebackers under contract, of which 2 were like scout team practice player guys.
3, Kevin.
Jamin Davis.
Kevin, we
is
only
the
had
guy.
2. Like the
I know.
training
Davis,
camp.
Mayo, and Bostic.
How many do
No,
you want?
Mayo's a free agent. Bostic's a free agent. It's 2 guys that are way on the
Kaliki
bottom.
Hudson is one of
Yeah.
them, I believe.
I'll tell you who it is.
And,
No, Kaliki Hudson is also
He's a free
also
agent?
a free agent.
Damn it.
So here we go. Here's your linebackers: Nate Jerry and Dejon Harris,
We're good.
Oh, yeah, Nate.
along with Jamin Davis.
Dejon.
So Holcomb, Mayo, Hudson, and Eifler and Bostic, all free agents.
You know what? We're
Nate's a
super
great
comfortable with 1 or 2 linebackers on the roster. We always have been.
Hey man,
We always have been.
So I think our secondary is sitting pretty. Aside from re-signing old Jeremy as a special teams guy, it was nice to see Troy Apke out there a couple weeks back.
Futures deal.
But I'm telling you,
He's on a futures
How
deal.
about
the
Jackson
linebackers, we besides Payne and Reeves and Cole, everything else is solid. And look, Fedarian Mathis is still on this roster.
I
Let's
understand.
keep that in mind. But
And you need
can't-
to have that guy.
You need to have him, but you cannot have him. Imagine he's going to somehow replace Deron Payne. coming off an ACL as a
Well,
guy
we were
who's played
talking about
one
it,
play in his
but
life.
that was the possibility.
One play.
That's
why they took it.
That's the idea to have depth
not
there.
now.
But you cannot say that this defense would be the same with that type of thinking. So
You can't. That
we
that
need
kind
him
of
to
injury.
spell those guys when he
But
comes
the,
back.
the thing about the Payne signing is I've heard someone say like it's duplicative. It's we already have Jonathan Allen. Why would you pay? Payne. You can't pay 2 defensive tackles that kind of money. That's horseshit. Both of those guys play crucial positions at the front of any defense you want to have, especially the one that just destroyed the NFL. Those are two cornerstones of an entire side of the ball. You can pay them both.
Let me cite Redskins circa Stubblefield
Yeah.
Wilkinson.
Yes, this will be a discount to that.
I will tell you this.
Let's go back.
Jonathan
even
Allen and
further.
Deron Payne are no Stubblefield or Wilkinson.
Let's talk about the '90s years, the heyday.
Dave Butts. Actually, Dave Butts
The
is the
80s was Butts and
As much as the
and
Hawks
Griffin.
get their due
Well,
and they
Daryl
deserve
Grant,
it,
yes.
we were just as nasty, if not nastier, on the other side of the ball.
I think it's okay to have 2 $20 million defensive tackles. I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. We know exactly who these guys are. Free agency for the best teams in the league comes down to I know this player better than anyone else. So do I want him or do I not want him? Can I can I afford him? We can afford him. So it's do we want him or do we don't want him? I can't imagine that a talent evaluator or anyone looking at the film from this past season or his entire time here looks and says anything but I want this guy on my team.
No, everyone else is saying pay that man his money, and if they have it, they're throwing their hat in the
Yes,
ring.
yes,
That's
yes.
what's going down. Especially someone trying to improve their defense. That's the defensive improvement in itself, right there. You got to sign them, guys. We can't freaking sit here and worry about the injuries. It's not. It's just what it is. You know, if we gave that money to a quarterback or to a freaking linebacker, it's the same shit.
It's why
it's what it is.
It's why I'm out on Derek Carr because I'm in on Payne, and I think that's the calculus ultimately, or
Yeah.
any of these kind of guys. So let's just do a straw
I'm
poll.
not on Derek Carr because I think he wears eyeliner.
Okay, fair enough. Let's do a straw
Just
poll
my-
amongst
just-
the three
just
of
my
us.
thing. I don't know.
Are you okay on day one? This is going to change, and you're not being, you're not going to be nailed to this one. Are you okay on day? Are you okay with this offseason philosophy as being, let's see what it takes to bring back Heineke and Hal, and enter the preseason or the training camp with those 2 guys as our quarterbacks from a philosophical standpoint, and focus on other spots on the roster? Or are you looking to spend the $25 to $40 million it's going to take to bring in a veteran quarterback?
Oh, I think you have to definitely entertain the latter.
You always like entertaining stuff.
You have to entertain the
I
latter.
just love that about you.
I mean, if
You're
old
entertaining
number
it.
12 out in Green Bay.
Jake Fromm.
If
State
num-
Farm is
He's
number
he's
12
one of
number
our
12
80 right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
If
exactly.
Number 12 from Green Bay is looking to maybe take one more shot at it, someplace else where maybe he thinks he has a chance. I think you got to entertain or something like that. But I'm okay with
You hate that, right?
I'm okay with ending up.
I love that.
Here's what I love.
I'm just throwing him out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
No.
No,
As the
If
example.
Aaron Rodgers wants to come here, I say, you can stay in my basement.
But I'm okay with
It's
with
done.
the former.
Age 40 for 40 million?
50 actually.
Yeah, well,
I'm just saying.
you can take that 50.
I think it's 50 million.
well,
50 million for a year of Aaron Rodgers. Just see, we're all in the same. Like that is a thing.
I couldn't be more out on the blue witch package for 50 million. Hey, we just got Snyder out of
He's
town.
dating
Let's
the
give a
owner
40-year-old
for- he's
50
dating
million.
the Bucks owner now.
If he was still with Olivia Mundo, you'd be in.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, if he and Olivia were coming to town, I might
understand.
rethink it. But
But he didn't. And that's part of your calculus.
The Bucks owner-
I mean, how can it not be?
Yeah.
I stand.
It has to be.
I'm standing right where I stand on this. I'm not. I am saying this though. At that
I
point,
respect the hell out of
like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers comes to town. Do you really hire an offensive coordinator? Do you really hire one? Or do you just say like, sir, just?
But that's
do
where the
your
veteran
thing.
head-
keep
the
all the
veteran
position
coordinator
coaches. Let
comes
them
in.
report to Brady or Rodgers and.
That's
You
why
need a veteran quarterback. That's what I was going to say. You can't just go to town with
Heineke and Hal.
just the youngest, second youngest dude, and the guy who 2 years ago was sleeping on his sister's couch working at FedEx. So that's tough. That's not a lot of experience over the last few years
Kevin, it's
to
so
ask guys
tough.
questions about.
Maybe.
You
It's
got to
so
get an
tough.
old school veteran in there.
Maybe.
That's not to be a starter,
I understand. So that's what I'm.
but then to have a three-way competition.
in
That never works.
direct response to that
Yeah.
because you boil right down to it. It is so tough because it's either Heineke and Hal and a 30 to $40 million veteran quarterback who comes into training camp as clearly the most experienced quarterback that we have, who's probably going to be the starter in a veteran head coach's offense, or
Matt Ryan.
or someone like Matt Ryan.
Ew.
Someone who, but
I'm not saying I want him to be our starter.
Ew.
I'm saying
Who can
we
hold
need
a
a
clipboard.
veteran guy in that room.
in the room.
We need
I'm gonna
experience
say it
in
right
there.
now.
Yes, Kevin,
think-
I'm exactly where you are.
Not for money.
Baker
I don't want to
Mayfield.
pay anybody big money.
I
No,
think
get
Aaron
Baker Mayfield the
Rodgers-
fuck away from that quarterback
I
room.
think Aaron
Jesus
Rodgers-
Christ.
I think Aaron Rodgers. I think
You're making me curse. I
He
got to stop
goes
saying
away.
it.
He goes away. We don't hear from him for like 2 months. He comes back from a spirit walk, and he says, "I have heard a voice that told me to go to Washington, take a pay cut,
Who said this?
Have you ever done the spirit
Have
walk
them-
through Landover?
have them use that money to protect me because they have weapons I
Wait,
can
who-
use."
who are we talking
Aaron
about?
Rodgers. He's gonna go.
We won't have any money for
he's gonna
anything
do-
else.
He's gonna do.
That's all the money.
Ayahuasca or whatever, and he's gonna have an epiphany, and he's gonna come here on the cheap.
He can't. No. He's under contract. He's getting paid $50 million.
Yeah, his contract's his contract.
There's no
Spirit
coming on the
walk.
cheap.
It's this. He doesn't care. He's
This
gonna
is the-
rip it
this
up.
is-
You had me at
this is
Spirit
He's gonna
Walk.
rip it up.
This is
Had me
the
at
stop.
Spirit Walk.
This is the stop at Landover. Bing, ding. Spirit walks over, nerd. You want to play for this team or what?
Oh no, he's going out like Alex Smith if he comes here. Let's just be honest. That's what's happening because $50 million to him, we won't be able to do anything.
All right, how about this? Now everyone's asking on the board, and I just wanted to say it. We haven't talked about it.
Lamar?
Lamar.
Bring him on.
It's the
I'll take him.
That is
For how
a
much?
huge upgrade.
So I would pay market for Lamar because
230
because
guaranteed?
of our defense. If all of a sudden Kevin? So what if I told you?
230 guaranteed for Lamar.
What if I told you this is how we're going to play football?
What if I told you?
What if I told you in a world where you could have a top 5
Lamar-
defense and a run first hard nosed offense with a quarterback who is
What line?
set the world on fire? I understand. Listen, Lamar makes some mediocre linemen look a lot better than he moves a lot better than Carson freaking Wentz. Just so we're clear. And I think he can throw the ball. In short, and I know I'm going to get absolutely skewered and butchered for this. If Lamar wants to come here for the next 5 years, I'm paying him what it takes.
I love Lamar.
Yes.
And if he wants to come here, that's one
That's
thing.
all it's all about.
But wow, I mean, he's like Stetson Bennett old. I mean, he's like 25, man. 26 years old. They're born the same year, man. He's been playing in the NFL forever, hasn't he? Like, it seems like forever.
I'm paying Lamar. Yes, I'm giving Lamar
5
Jackson that contract.
Yes.
I am, and I will die on that hill. I know, and I understand the game, and
I haven't really thought about it.
Okay.
I asked the question because it's been popping up, and today you noticed he's a great, big, fat free agent sitting right there staring at
yeah.
everybody.
And if they franchise him, let's all be honest about what's happened over the last month. Lamar Jackson, without a contract, and he's been kind of hoarded by the Ravens in the
Wouldn't
contract
have to sell
process.
his house.
Well, he's also his own agent, which is probably a mistake. But
I think
No,
he's
his
one of the
mom.
coolest
His
professional
mom is
athletes.
his agent.
He's one of my favorite guys. I love the dude.
here's the thing about Lamar.
I just don't know if that works for us
Well,
financially. With
I
all
think
the
it would
guys
work
we
for
have
us.
coming up under contracts, we're just going to have to let them all go one by one because we have Lamar.
so
That's going to be bye-bye Montez, bye Chase, probably no Duran.
No. I think you could do
One of them.
Duran and no. I think you could do Duran
Where are
and
you
Lamar.
getting all this money?
We got it.
No.
We got it.
No.
We can do it.
You
We
don't.
can do
You
it.
don't.
We can
We
do
don't
it.
have it.
Duran, Chase, Sweat, and a
No.
franchise
You're saying
quarterback?
goodbye to Sweat for 100,000%. You're saying goodbye to Sweat.
And Chase. Peace
Potentially
out,
and
guys.
Chase. Yeah, but we
Yes.
get Chase for 2 more years.
Yeah.
Anyways, we get him for 2 more years. Anyways, my thing about Lamar is he was probably if he was getting paid and I believe this, and I could be wrong. Anyone can disagree with this, and they can be right. If he was getting paid $230 million guaranteed, I believe he would have been playing in some of these games in which they've looked like just terrible.
They didn't
without
really
him.
set him up with a ton of weapons
for
this contract season.
No, and he got a little bit banged up, and he was like, you know what? I'm hurt. I can't play. Now, I don't think he was being a dick about it at all, and I don't think there's any ill will between him and the Ravens organization.
No.
But he is absolutely standing on the sidelines watching an inferior product with him not there and probably healthy enough to have played if they had to win and if he was a $250 million deal.
So you're saying he's going to show up this weekend and play?
I do.
And
I
be
am.
great. I think he is too.
I am.
I'm also saying everyone's giving him a ton of shit for no representation, representing himself. Roquan Smith just landed the first $20 million deal for any linebacker, doing the same thing.
Yep.
He also represents himself. He's going to keep all those monies. He's not giving that percentage over, and it worked out. It works out for the guys that study it up and do it the right way. And you don't always need a little snivelly agent to call on the phone.
Hey, when Bezos' first day on the job, I'm calling because he can.
You're gonna call him. You're gonna
I'm
crank
calling
call
Lamar.
Bezos.
No.
First...
If I'm Bezos, I'm calling Lamar on my first day, and I'm saying, let's get this done.
I thought you were going to call Bezos.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to call Jeff that day or not. Maybe I call Jeff that day. Maybe I don't call Jeff that day.
He calls him Bay when he texts.
I will. I think it's. I don't think there's. I think it's It could go very, very, very badly, obviously. But I'm in on Lamar. We'll see how that pans out. Of all the guys who people talk about, he's the only guy who I'm all in on money-wise. Of all the guys, I love Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers comes here, he will die. It's
the 40 for 50. It's the 30 for 30 beginning. What if I told you?
He will.
He's on his seventh girlfriend.
Smoking, dude.
He will die.
What he's smoking.
50. We don't have what it takes to keep a 40-year-old alive on the field
He's a
without
weird
any
guy.
money to do it. And I'm out on Derek Carr. I'm out.
I don't
on
want Derek Carr.
Baker. I'm out on. I'm out
Don't
on all
even
these
say
guys.
Baker.
I'm out on Baker.
Keep Baker away.
I'm out on Gino.
Far away. Gino's old ass too, man.
We have two Ginos.
Gino's about to get $80 million in 2 years.
I understand.
That's nuts.
He
But now
balled out
by
this
us.
year.
He did.
I
Would you
love
give him
him.
$80 million for 2 years?
I don't know.
No.
I'm not a business guy. I don't.
All right, so we talked about Lamar. That's awesome. I didn't know we were going to go Lamar. How about this as a beginning of the closing out of the show? The thing that I loved the most about Sunday, going into this offseason, and as a fan base who digs off seasons, and I want to get to some of this stuff, by the way. You're not getting off the hook because you get some awesome stuff. From a fan base that loves off seasons as much as we do, because that's in many times where the fun was had.
Man, it's still more of that whiskey.
The Washington Commanders didn't give up. They didn't quit. We know what it looks like. Like, you guys at every level have watched football players at some point in a season or whatever just phone it in. You know what it looks like. And we all know what it looks like. And we've watched it. We've seen it in other teams do it when we had we've seen us do it. We know what it looks like. We didn't do it on Sunday. That tells me a lot about, to loop all the way back to what I kind of set you guys up with at the beginning of the show about the Ron Rivera, the idea that he's in charge and that this is his show. We didn't have, you name it, all these guys, Gibson, Robinson, St. Juice, the linebackers that were hurt, the defensive lineman, Jonathan Allen, some big time talent on our squad that wasn't there. We were playing guys up. Man, they fought. They fought like it actually meant something. And that to me was what I thoroughly enjoyed, almost more than anything else. When watching a team with nothing to play for Ron Rivera, that's what I thought
I've
was
seen
happening.
more fight in this team than I've seen in years.
I thought Ron Rivera was
decade,
gone.
maybe.
We all did. Is he gone after that?
No.
Does that mean anything to you? Like, does that?
No, I think they play hard as shit, man.
Yeah.
We never once said anything about
Look, there's-
anything but that around here all
Not,
year.
not to you,
You can
but
give- you can give
the
six-
No,
system.
I
You know,
know,
the
but
idea of it.
right.
You could give 6 reasons why a new owner would want to keep Ron. You give 6 reasons why he wouldn't.
I think it's a 1-year audition for Ron Rivera for a new owner. I think that if you're a billionaire success story like Bezos is, I think there's so many other areas where you clean house and start putting people in place, namely the front office, namely the organization and the administration side of it. But the idea that Ron Rivera is not going to get one more year under this new guy, I think because I think that if you take over a business, a McDonald's or whatever, and you got a guy that people are working for as an owner, like you want to be like, all right, listen, I'm going to change everything else up over here, but I want that guy there because people are actually working for him. People actually give a shit because he's there. That's a 1 year leash, I think, for a new owner. And who knows what he does?
And that's what it is. It's a prove it year because they're not going to go into that last year with him sitting there. He's not going to go into that as a veteran coach.
Of course.
As a sitting duck. He's not going to sit there going in there. So it's a 1 year deal, and that's what it is. It makes sense.
At least, fortunately for whoever the owner is, they are not walking into a 2-15 team.
No.
You know, they're walking into a team that, yes, has been overwhelmingly mediocre, but is not far from being able to get a couple pieces.
A couple good
really
choices away.
Make some, you know.
And he needs help
something
in that
of it.
department.
So,
I think we should be honest about that.
A couple of non-Snyder choices away from really making noise. In this,
an owner
in
could look
this
at it and
league.
say, you know what? Do I want to revamp it? Do everything start over from the beginning, from the get-go? Maybe in the long term that's a good idea. Or say, look, this thing is not a complete disaster. I can concentrate on the ownership, the
Scouting,
face.
front office.
Well, also the image,
all that stuff.
The image of the organization. Correct that. That's
Hey.
my job as the new owner, is to correct what has been abysmal for 20 plus
Correct
years.
it by
And let
evaluating
Ron
players
Rivera do the football
Yep.
stuff for at least one more year and
Yep.
prove whether or not he is the right guy to go forward.
Or else we just cut our ties and pony up and sell the farm for Caleb Williams.
right. Well, so the good news about that, Kev, that's a year away.
I know.
That's next
what I'm
offseason on the
saying.
break.
That's what I'm saying.
We could do so much
This
this
guy
year
can
to
come
set
in
us
this
up.
year and take a peek at everything and see what's happening.
And then
at the
sell
end
it
of
on for
next year,
Caleb.
be like, oh, shit. You know, we're going to
100%.
do.
By the way, it's like the old school. What was that cereal?
Greg
that
Martin
flipped?
is right. I mean, you know what? He's
We're
right.
gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
He's so right.
What was the cereal that had the sugar coating on one side and the regular coating
Frosted
on the other
Flakes?
side? Frosted Flakes.
No.
No, I'm sorry.
No.
Frosted Mini Wheats?
Frosted Mini Wheats. With the
Never got
commercial was
this.
like, the kid in me loves the sugary
delicious.
side. The adult in me loves the Brandon fiber. Yeah, the whole idea of like whether or not this all works out in the off season. It's like I really want to see what we look like next year with Ron Rivera, head coach. Not because of anything that I feel strongly about him personally. I feel like he's going to get the most out of these players in the first 8 to 10 weeks with an offensive coordinator that can get the job done. And listen, if this thing goes in the pooper like halfway through the season, he's gone, and he knows that. Everyone knows that. But what are you going to do? You get to keep him and Jack together. This defense is worth some level of continuity in this town.
No, there's a lot of sense for a new owner to not take on more than he can chew in his first year. And if it's an easy decision to say, let Ron Rivera, a complete, utter adult who is doing a yeoman's job with a shitty situation out of the last 3 years, and allow him to just take care of that part that I don't have to worry about. That part's
All right.
done.
Well,
And he has a lot more to fix as an owner otherwise.
speaking of chew, let's talk Muff here. All right, what do you got in terms of Muff analysis? Because the board is calling for it.
I think they might have misunderstood. It's not muffin analysis. It's muff.
Muff
Analysis.
That's actually when we have graphics on our. That's obviously a graphic.
Banana bread or
And chewing muff seems
blueberry.
a little rough.
Blueberry.
Dude. I mean,
I guess it depends on the muff.
okay,
The muffed punt against the Dallas
if it's a rowdy
Cowboys
bunch, you
was
gotta-
great because in that
use
moment
some aggression, I guess.
Yeah.
it was shouts of Muff all across the land. When that ball left the return man's hands, it was like 0.16 seconds before I was screaming Muff at the top of my lungs.
Do you think it registered on the Richter scale?
I think regionally it
There was
had
a
to
blip.
have.
There was a blip.
Because it's a thing. And the fact that it happened against our rival in a game where, listen, we need to give Sam Howell some love. That was awesome.
It wasn't muffin, really. It was just how Sam plays. You know, he's done
That's
this his
right.
whole life. But I will say that it was recovered by our man Christian Holmes, who, just want you both to know, in our muff analysis, has recovered 2 muffs this year, which puts him on top of the football team, not the football team, of our football team's most fumble recoveries.
He's the MVM.
It's because of muffs.
Most valuable muffer.
Chicago, we're down 7-6. Velus Jones muffs it. Christian recovers it. Christian Holmes picks it up. 2 plays later, B-Rob touchdown. We win 12-7. That was a muff game winner.
That
Which
was
was
muff
amazing.
game winner. MGW.
Green Bay down 7-0. Amari Rogers muffs one. Percy Butler scoops that one up, though. Percy Butler's always around that muff.
Christian Holmes is our main guy, right? Though, right?
We kick a field goal that day. We win by 2.
So there's another guy who's got the other 2. Is that what you're saying?
No, hold on. Christian Holmes has the Dallas
both.
muff.
Yeah. I was gonna say he's our lead muffer.
But Philadelphia muffed a punt in game 1. Philadelphia muffed a punt in game 1. Britton Covey recovered it. So that was the only muff that went against us, sort of. But we all know why we beat them in the second matchup.
Correct.
You don't just muff against us and not catch an L at some point this season.
Yeah.
So that's essentially 4 muffs, 4 W's.
The muff valuable player is Christian Holmes.
Muff valuable player of the season.
Yeah.
Christian Holmes,
MVP,
definitely.
without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Christian Holmes, I know you're very honored tonight to win our...
You have won our 2022 MVP. Christian Holmes, and I'll tell you what, we're going to get his...
and it's a shout out to the board. I think the board should be the presenters. They've really taken this muff to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Not his, this muff.
Yep. Christian Holmes, by the way,
I think it's a muff about
if
that.
anyone's wondering,
I don't know, T.
he's under contract
the board
for
is,
2
the
more
board is
years.
muffed down.
He was signed to a 4-year deal, and he will be here until the age of 28, where he will make $1.1 million on our team. And I can't imagine that we won't keep him around at least that long. He was a 7th-round draft pick out of Oklahoma State. Christian Holmes. Entourage Sports.
And just
Your
so you
main
know,
muffer.
a muff. Remember the ladies would have that like woolly thing when the 2 hands go in, open sides on either end?
Yep.
That's a muff right there. That's a muff.
I learned something today, audience and board.
There
Kevin
you go.
taught me. I actually was calling this
This is
past
going to be like the
weekend
more
a
you know. NBC,
multiple muff
the
game
star is going to go across
because
the
I
screen.
called the punter for Dallas
A muffer.
muffing the
You
snap,
called him a muffer.
but I was corrected.
We need
I
a
did
muff
not know
sponsor.
this.
Ken Harris, you're right.
I was 47
You're
days
always
old,
right, Ken
or
Harris.
47 years old
Yeah.
when I found out that that is called a.
He aborted the punt. It's an abort.
Yep, that's the technical
Yeah, he
term.
was forced to abort the punt.
The Supreme
Not a
Court
muff.
has not yet ruled on this one, everyone. Just so you know, like currently, it is an aborted
That
punt.
is a
We don't know if
technical
it's
term, a
constitutionally
term
allowed
of
or not,
art.
but at the end of the day, that is what it is.
You know, I've always dreamed of a muff sponsor and who it would be.
Who would be our muff sponsor?
Who would play us in a muff commercial
Olivia-
for our muff sponsor?
Mine-
Olivia
Meineke?
Munn. Olivia Munn.
The muffler people?
It would have
No, we can't have a lady in our muff commercial.
dude, T.
T.
kind of muff it.
Your
I'm
wife's
thinking
never.
about-
Your wife's never going to go.
Mine
for
is-
it.
Talking about a
they are
different
the
muff
muffler
this whole
people.
year?
Well, we're not just going to go and drop punts all day, sir.
Oh, AGH is always right, by the way, and tonight he's right yet again. I had said 2 more years. He
I think
has
it'd be hilarious
3 more years.
to hire
Lady
someone
Schick.
with
All right,
alopecia.
Robert Cohen, I like where you're going with this, but I do think we're going to have to... Meineke, if Meineke calls, it's going to have to be Meineke.
Meineke for a muff?
Muffler.
The muffler shirt. The muffler
Oh, a
shirt, yeah.
muffler.
Yeah.
Oh, muffler.
Otherwise, we're going to go down the story of the board.
That would be MUFF-LER. Muffler.
Yeah, we're going to get it figured out. But Lady Schick might not be where we're going with this one, unless they pony up the dollars. Let's be honest. We are.
I've got to be honest.
Deron Payne's agents also represent us in this regard. We're going to get every last dollar out of the sponsorship. That's a fact. That's an actual
But
fact.
I don't think Lady Chick's going to work on us. there's some
No.
there's some
If you
old
want
muffs
to
around these parts.
those razors don't stand a chance. That
Pigskins.
is-
Pigskins.
They don't manufacture them. They're like-
Punters.
the Lady Schick razors, let's be honest,
Need
they
a
will
muff spot.
retreat.
Can it be like a pomade company? Because that'd be good.
That's fine too. Yeah, you got that.
Just saying. Gel.
Stovetop muffin. I like it.
Dippity doo. What was it called?
I don't know. I'm not a pomade guy.
How about
No,
a
the
waxing
gel.
place, like your local wax shop?
What's the shit called that you squirted into like a big old thingy?
Shaving cream?
It looked like shaving cream.
And it melts your hair off.
Yeah.
Nair?
Mousse.
Nair.
Moose. Nair is a hair remover.
Not Nair.
No,
I'm
mousse
not
makes
spraying
your hair
Nair
hard.
in my hand.
Dude, I haven't
What
sprayed
kind of-
anything in my
what
hand
kind of-
in
Mousse makes
forever.
your
What kind of
hair
muff
hard.
sponsor do you think
You
I
think I'm
am?
spraying
Mousse
any?
makes
I think
your
I'm
hair
doing any
hard
shaving in my
and
life right now.
stylish.
I
Right.
haven't shaved forever.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh, I thought you
Thomas's
were talking about
English
stuff that takes your
muffins,
hair off.
obviously. we
No,
missed
and
it.
I'm not
Damn
squirting
it.
Nair in my hand. My next move is going to be, you know, my ADD. I'm definitely going to like scratch my eye or run my hand through my hair. Or, I don't know. Accidentally delete half my muff.
All right. Well, I just looked up some things. There's a financial advisor named David Muff, works for Edward Jones. I mean, he's a possibility.
I bet.
He's
I
a
bet he
possibility.
does.
He's a possibility. Listen, we're
I mean,
gonna
there's
keep
so many
we're gonna
marketing
keep it open.
possibilities. Don't muff this, right?
I mean,
Get your finances together and get your future started without muffing it.
it
up.
is.
With what's his name?
Then what?
Muff.
There's a picture of us with razors doing what?
The State Farm Pillsbury
Yeah,
Muff Man.
don't mess this up. You wouldn't want to mess the three of
Don't
us
muff
doing
up your
this up.
future.
I'm worried
Like
about
these three idiots.
I'm worried about a lot of things.
Be a
And,
bigger dick and make more money than these guys.
It's true. Tuffy Muff. We get the fabulous Thunderbirds.
You're just trying to rhyme words now, right now, so you can come
Can
up
I
with
get
a cool
Tuffy,
thing.
Muff?
Muff, tough, huff, cuff,
Yep.
slough.
Slough.
Slough, definitely.
Snuffleupagus.
Slough is such a
Snuff.
gross word, too.
Sluffleupagus.
Cuff.
Slough.
All right. We're gonna. You know what? We got our
Muff.
top people working on this.
Slough my muff.
We
How
got
about that?
top
How about that
people working on
hashtag?
it.
Cry McGruff.
Muff the
Yeah.
Magic Dragon. That's a good one. I like that one.
Muffin stuff? Puffin muff?
I
No?
mean, it's all.
This has gotten. This muff has run out of the underwears.
Duff. Beer.
Duff Beer. If we can get a sponsorship from Duff Beer and we change it up, that would be actually the winner. I think. I think that would go over on the board
That'd be
very
great. We'll just
well. Muff Beer.
pour cold beer
Duff
down our pants
awards
and
the
call it a
muff.
day.
That would mean that the Duff Beer logo was so popular and so well known that if you change the D to M, people would still get the reference to Muff Beer. Greg Martin, you're on it. Take the Duff Beer logo, change it to Muff Beer. It's got to be Muff Beer. Send it back to us. We'll wear it on the next show. It's on you, Lady Duff. All right,
Lady
listen,
Duff with her
Kevin, what do you got
buff
for us?
muff.
Can you send us out on something like interesting and
Interesting.
hard researched?
He
I
just
mean, I did all the muff
I
stuff.
know.
Let's go.
I
All right,
know.
you know what? How about this?
You
On
did
way
all
out-
the muff stuff.
and I'm exhausted with all the muff stuff. But how about this? On the season, final season. I don't know if you guys know these things. Who led the league? Who led the team in interceptions?
Who led the
Kendall
team?
Fuller.
Who?
It was not Kendall Fuller,
What?
although he led the NFL in pick sixes.
I will say Derek Forrest.
Derek Forrest with 4 interceptions.
It was Derek
It
Forrest?
was Derek Forrest.
Yes.
How
Okay.
many did Kendall have?
2. Both of them went to the house, putting him with another man. I believe the cornerback from New England had 2 pick
Recording?
sixes.
Not recording. I don't know.
All right, I already told you about Deron Payne was
Yes.
third in D tackles. We had an offensive guy that was a top 10 guy
In
in a stat. This is
an
not
offensive
difficult.
guy and a top 10 guy that was.
We had an offensive guy who was top 10 at something offensive.
Okay. Was it good or bad?
It was good.
Okay.
It was good.
Jahan Dotson touchdowns.
No.
Okay.
In fact, this gentleman was 10th in something positively offensive, which you know wasn't a running back.
D-Rob yards per carry.
It was not McLaurin catches. It was McLaurin
50-50 ball?
yards.
Yards. Okay.
10th in the NFL in receiving
Yeah,
yards.
T-Mac yards.
With 3
Cohen got it.
quarterbacks. There you go. Of course. That's that was pretty cool. I thought who led us in tackles this year, and how many did he have?
Who led us in tackles? It's typically a linebacker, but we haven't had a linebacker play that long enough. So you have to say Jamin Davis.
Jamin Davis with 104 tackles.
There you
led,
go.
Led,
Yes.
led the squad this year.
I honestly
Yep.
didn't know that. But it has to
He
be.
did.
Because if it's a safety, it's a sign of a bad season.
I would
Our defense
say
was better
that's-
than that.
That's taking a step forward.
So
right
yeah, old Duran with the sacks, Derek with the picks with Kendall and Jamin leading the team in
Yeah.
tackles. That's
All guys we drafted. All guys.
All
we
guys
developed,
we drafted.
Our guys.
Yeah, man. I thought there was some pretty cool things in there, and with old Sam Howell, that really was impressive to watch him end the season in the locker room when he was giving the game ball, the way he addressed the team, the way he gave everyone else credit. I think a lot of the guys jumped on that. He is not the type of guy that isn't afraid of the moment, but he also is humble enough to understand that he was on the bench the entire year. It was supposed to be a learning season for him. He got his dream. His dream come true happened right in front of all of us. If he can possibly be the type of guy we think he can, all of our dreams are going to come true with this salary cap and the franchise moving forward with the next couple of years.
He has upside.
He certainly does.
I loved his demeanor. I loved. He played like a dog, and there were a couple times right after a play where they cut. You know how they cut to you. They cut to the quarterback, kind of get the B-roll, and I felt like he had a couple of teammates too that he either said something to them or did something that made them smile, laugh, or kind of just be like, "This dude's a dog." Like, I mean,
That's the beauty of starting for your first game in Week 18.
That told me more than what he did in play. A lot more than what he did in play is
what happened with the reactions of the
reactions
players.
of his players. The fact that he looked like he was in control of himself, of his game. Like, I think he's an absolute viable option.
He's an absolute viable option. That's the beauty of starting in Week 18. If you're a rookie and you come in and they throw you out there in September, no one knows who the hell you are. He's clearly done it the right way. He's clearly been a presence in the right way as a rookie. He clearly didn't overstep his bounds, as we see other quarterbacks in this league do regularly in their words and their actions. And he came out and he performed, and he came out and he put his body on the line in physical ways. The response by the players, that's how you get responses from football players. If they see you putting yourself physically on the line with them, it's over. Like, it's over. And he got the win, and he played well, and he made good decisions, and he came back from errors, and he bounced back from adversity. I mean, he's a viable option for starting quarterback for us next season. So I will go.
Every time he makes a good play, they do that. Ow, ow, ow!
Yeah.
They're howling out there at the field. I love it. Sam Howell's getting them wolves up.
Percentage chance, just give me a number. Percentage chance Sam Howell is our starting quarterback Week 1 next season. Give it to me.
70.
Tom Arangolo, you're still on the board. That means you're still awake.
Did you just say 70?
Percentage chance Sam Howell is our starting quarterback next season.
Chance of being our number
Week
guy.
1. Not
I was
70.
going to say 50 and thought that
Robert
was
Cohen's
being
at
high.
72. Oh, all right. I'm going to let Tom Marangolo give me a number. 50 is from E.O. Anderson. 50% chance that Sam Howell. By the way, 85. 285 is right back to
I
back.
went with 70.
I'm going to tell you right now, it is
Greg
90.
and Tom went 85. Ken's going 90.
It's 90%.
Well, there's human error that has to come into this number.
That's the 10%. That's the 10%.
All of it?
Yes.
It's like one bad night of drinking. All right.
Well, listen, I don't think, we said at the beginning of the show, I don't think there was anything where you said, oh my God, we just unearthed Joe Montana or the second coming of Tom Brady. But you found someone who can play an NFL game in a competition against a team that we haven't talked about this. We've talked about it a little bit. Dallas had something to play for. They had their starters in there. They had more starters in there than we did. And Sam Howell owned them. So, 90%. I say 90%. That colors the discussion that we've had with regard to the players that we bring in. Yes, I'm all in on Lamar Jackson, but I think the likelihood is we just saw our starting quarterback for the 2023 season play this week.
I hope so. And real quick before we go,
Yep.
It has to be fast. It has to be fast. No
Okay.
questioning. Just
Let's do it.
fast. Let's go. San Fran or Seattle, Ken?
Say it again.
San Fran or Seattle?
San Fran.
Ken goes San Fran. T.
San Fran.
Me too. All right. Minnesota or the Giants, T.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
I'm going with the New York Giants.
Yeah, so is Ken Harris.
Tampa Bay or Dallas, T.
Tampa Bay.
TB.
Kevin?
Ken. Kevin goes Dallas.
Tampa Bay.
TB. Buffalo, Miami. Me. I'll go first. Buff. T.
Buffalo.
Ken.
Buffalo.
All right.
Muffalo. Sorry, I meant Buffalo.
Oh, the Buffalo. And by the way, God bless that young man in Buffalo.
DeMar Hamlin, home, on his way home. Jeez.
Cincinnati and Baltimore.
Cincy.
Cincy for Ken,
Cincy.
and I'm going Baltimore.
Yep. Our new quarterback is going to ball out.
We'll see. Hopefully it's not the backup. All right, Chargers and Jacksonville. I think the toughest call of the day.
The funniest game, I think, of the day. I'm going
can't
Chargers.
wild.
believe
I'm Chargers.
The Jaguars are there, and when they won that game, the guy who I saw first on screen, Sheriff, and I went.
All right, someone take one of you guys. I don't know who it's
damn
going to
it.
be. AGH, Tui, Martin.
I'm gonna take Chargers.
One of you guys, please get the count on the board. Everyone on the board said what they were going to say. Somebody get records, please. Robert Cohen. I'm asking you nicely. I want the totals for Tui, Cohen, Marangolo, AGH, and Greg Martin.
Yeah, we need a board MVP for
We need
the
a board
postseason.
MVP. Yep. All right. Someone's got to take the pulse of the board. Jacksonville, Tom Marangolo, you're going against me on this one. Jacksonville's going to make it absolutely fun to watch, but I'm going Justin Herbert in this game.
How bad?
All right, so you
seriously,
guys both
how
went
bad
Chargers, and I
could
went
Meyer have
Jacksonville.
been?
No, yeah, you're right.
How bad could Meyer have been? I mean, he's
Oh,
worse
so bad. He's so terrible.
I love-
You know, I called him out
Worse
years
than we
ago.
thought.
I despise his
What a bad
worse
face.
take.
than we knew.
Oh, he's so bad.
I anticipated the worst in that man. I could see his soul. He's when he sat smirking in the Snyder place, I was like, no one should smile like that in Daniel Snyder's suite. Something's wrong with that guy. He's obviously down with this deal with the devil as
Yep.
well. And yeah, when your
Remember
wife's
he was-
babysitting your
remember he was doing
grandkids
it-
and you're playing,
Remember
you're
he was doing
playing
the
butt
interview and
claps.
smoking bongs? Or someone was
Oh
smoking a bong in the
yeah, I
background?
do. I do.
Oh, in the background. That's
was-
right.
that was-
Daniel Snyder's yacht?
No, that's way too cool for Snyder's yacht. Snyder doesn't have a
no
bong.
way that was hanging outside.
Snyder doesn't have a bong.
That's actually true.
It is way true.
I got my bong out. No, you don't, Dan Snyder. Shut up.
Stop it, Dan. You don't know what a bong is. All right, so we got 11 people on, only 6 thumbs up, whatever, NBD. We'll get there eventually with everybody. But let me tell you guys this. This was week one of our offseason. The glory of that is that we get an NFL postseason mixed in there. We have some of the most probably intense offseason action in our lifetimes. Literally, I mean, everything in one offseason. An owner, a quarterback, and a front office / head coach hanging in the balance. Now, all this stuff, we could have our head coach. We could have our quarterback. We don't have our owner. But all this stuff is happening. And a stadium. I got to say stadium. And a stadium deal. All this stuff is changing for us as fans of this team locally in this offseason. I'm just saying. It seems like a lot. But I think that we've been training for this.
We should gather on Tuesdays and drink and discuss.
All right. Back here same time next week. Until then, he's Tim Strachan.
I just think what I think is really cool is getting together on Tuesdays with our audience, our board, you guys, good people to talk about something that we love, and other muff.
Another muff. He's Kevin Ricka.
Nah, I did miss you guys the last few weeks, man. It was tough not being down here as the team was not doing great, but it was cool to watch Sunday. It really was, and I think we all head off into this brinkiness with Sam Howell on our mind as at least someone that's been a positive force on our offense because with old Scott being gone, we were looking for a lot of it. And I think that a lot of people think that's 2 huge positives. So we will see. Good luck to who it could be.
Good luck to who it could be. Good luck to all of you as you make your way through another Washington offseason. Join us every Tuesday, and let's just do this together. Thank God it's Tuesday, offseason on the brink. We'll see you next Tuesday night. I'm Ken Marangolo. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, thank you so very much. We're still live.
He said it. Cohen got you right there. Still alive right as you said it. I think it timed up
Later.
perfectly.